#EndBadGovernance protesters. The Department of State Services, that's the DSS, recently released 2 #EndBadGovernance protesters detained in Kaduna. This follows ongoing efforts by legal representatives and organizations like the Nigeria Bar Association (NBA) to secure the release of protesters detained across the country. Reports indicate that about 125 protesters remain in detention, including 38 in Abuja who have been held for over 62 days and face further legal proceedings before Justice Emeka Wite. The nationwide protests, which aim to address economic hardship and governance issues, led to the arrest of over 1,000 demonstrators, while most of the 873 protesters detained in Kano have been released. Other regions continue to face legal challenges. Protesters in Abuja are still awaiting bail decisions, and charges against many of those detained are not clearly documented. All right, Ambassador.
Well, I think this might be coming from maybe the NBA, who have gone to intervene through the pro bono services of the lawyers, yes, the NBA legal aids. Again, it's a good thing that these protesters that were detained are gradually being released. My opinion has always been, if there was an allegation or there was a kind of indictment surrounding those who were arrested, that after investigation and they are not found wanting, they should be released. Because I will not say the DSS should not do their job of investigation. Never, if we want a lawful society. But again, I also want to commend the NBA, Nigerian Bar Association, for intervening, on this issue that seems as if these Nigerians are helpless, these ones that are arrested and detained. Again, I equally want to sincerely plead, like I always say, that most of these are young Nigerians who are detained. Some of them were deceived by some elites who claim to love this country in the issue of the protest. And I've always said it that if any of these our elites were detained, we would have seen senior advocates of Nigerians going to courts for their release. But because they are common Nigerians who seems to have nobody to speak for them, they are not, in quotes, elites. So that's why they are still in detention, and that's why they are still going through what they are going through. For those who were not found in criminal activities, because there are some who we assume were arrested because of being involved in those protests. There were some too that were arrested, assumptuously, because they went to burn down or went to loot government or public facilities, as we watched during that protest. So for such ones, we condemn that it was not right. But in any case, we have always pleaded for prerogative of mercy, that Mr. President has the power to grant them a presidential pardon or judicial pardon. But now that most of them have been kept on detention for a period of time, I think there could still be a plea for mercy on their behalf, and also caution that when next this kind of activities wants to go on, be mindful and be careful, and don't take laws into your hands because you want to go and protest for what is not right.
When you say that they were deceived by some of our elites, I would like you to quickly...
Some of our elites who promoted that protest was constitutional. Of course it is. Now that they have spoiled our young people, our innocent Nigerians, yes, the suffering, all of us are part of it.
Yes, the hardship
but knowing the kind of country that we have,
okay,
if you want to organize protests in Nigeria, country Nigeria, where all of us are part of, you must keep team of lawyers that will go in case anybody become a victim, because protesting against this country, the government of Nigeria, is not my mind. You must keep enough resources in case anybody is a victim. so that you, from that money, you can use and take care of them. Now, most of them, the bail they could not afford. Most of them had no lawyer until our senior brother, Femi Falana, had to plead with NBA in one of their programs to ensure that the issue of pro bono services should be, invoked back again. And the NBA, I'm glad that they took up to that call. And that's why the NBA legal team for pro bono is on it. Right. So hence, where is the money that would have been paid, for the release of this young man? Who is the lawyer that they have contracted? So don't always come out on television to begin to speak, we must protest, we Nigerians are suffering, your people should go, and then you stay at home. And then even if you come out for protest, because of whom you are, you have no effect on the protest.
Thank you, Ambassador Ekiye, for your thoughts on that one. Let's bring Mazi Chinedum into this conversation. Mazi, let's get to hear you.
I agree with Ambassador. Let me quote the scriptures, the Holy Bible, the Holy Book. It says, wisdom is profitable to direct. It's only a fool that will see a fire burning and he says, let me go and put my hand inside it. During the NSAS protest, I was also in the studio, and they asked me, will I support this? I said, well, going against bad governance or bad NSAS was good, but I won't advise anybody to go, because we are in a country, especially now that the country is hot. When the protest was organized properly and there were no arrests, the time has gone, but not now. But then I listened to lawyers, senior lawyers, even one of them said he taught the present justice minister in the law school. He said he was teaching in the law school before he even graduated from university. He said he called him that there's no law against protest. He should release those people. And other human rights lawyers also attacked the arrest of these people. But then remember, this government was involved in protest from 2014, 2012, when Jonathan was here, against the fuel price. And they gathered at Ojota, nobody arrested them. But today, just do a protest. Then look at what happened in Rivers State. I'm not in Rivers State. I've not been to Rivers State for some time now. Look at those that burned down the local government. Are they adults? Are they people above 60 years? The youths are restless. And it's only a foolish person will allow his own child to go and protest in this country. Having said that, and they have now released them. Lawyers have said even arresting them is unconstitutional. In advanced country, when they gave notice and they say we will embark on peaceful demonstration and protest, the government should be able to provide security to guide them. Ambulance, road safety, and what have you should guide them, to guide them. But of course, the same government will now infiltrate into them by releasing hoodlums. We saw it at Abuja, where the people, some people now use civil cars to attack those protesting.
So did we see? Was it stated that it was the government who released hoodlums to disrupt the protest?
With soldiers, with police in FCU car, coming and flogging them in Lagos here.
But that's different. That's different from the statement that you made. Go on.
Some people organize talks to go from market to market, telling them not to come out. If you come out, you'll be killed. You're your own in Lagos here. The same thing in Abuja. But then I'm against destruction of government properties. I listened to the founder of the Christ Ambassador, Christ Embassy. He said when you are fighting with government, don't destroy the properties. The properties belongs to you. So I'm against those who were carrying other foreign countries' flag. It's unacceptable. No matter the level of provocation, no matter you are going against the law of the land, those people are supposed to be arrested and prosecuted. But those who were engaged in the peaceful demonstration and the complaint, they should be released.
Okay.
And that is what the issue is. I know I spoke to Barry Soban, the senior advocate of Nigeria. He's my good friend, my brother. And he now spoke to his colleagues in the NBA. And thank God today, some of them have been released. But even when they were taken to court, high bail charges, grant was granted to them. They were, I think, more than, but now they've reduced it to, 5 million and things like that. They should give them completely amazed. They should forgive them because there's anger in the land.
Right.
They were just being misled, just like what the said. They were being misled.
Thank you, Mazi. I'm sorry, but I have to cut you off from this now, because the next conversation is still somewhat related to this, but we need to bring it up. Obasanjo urges Nigerian leaders to prioritize resource development that the former president Olusegun Obasanjo has called on Nigerian leaders to effectively utilize the country's vast resources to foster national development. And he made a statement saying that God did not create Nigeria to suffer, because we have a lot of resources in Nigeria. But then with the resources that we have, we're still talking about hunger in the land, with both human resources, natural resources, good hands we have on the farm and all of that. So it brings me back to the question I was going to ask when we're talking about the protest. Saying it is not advisable to protest, and Mazi made a statement about that no wise person will allow their children to go and protest. So what are we expected to do when we see how much resources that we have and are not comfortable with the fact that there's still hunger in the land? What do you expect these young people or even Nigerians to do if you're saying the protest is not advisable at this time? I would bring Ambassador up on this one in 1 minute, in just 1 minute, Ambassador.
We have different kinds of protests. You mustn't go to the street when it's not safe for you to protest. Protest in the street means that you, in Nigeria, you want to resist government policies. You want to resist government decision. And you know there is a measure of force that government has. So that's why I always advise. I said, you know, when you find yourself, he talks about wisdom. The scenario will determine what you should do. So you can protest in writing. Thank God everybody now is a journalist. You buy your data and post what you feel like in the social media.
You cannot entirely still post what you feel like in the social media.
No. You see,
because we've seen reports of people who made posts and then they came after them.
No, that's what I'm saying. The way you feel like protesting in the streets, you feel like protesting. That's why I say you can also protest via social media. But in any case, we are not saying that we should keep quiet when things are not going on right. But two wrongs cannot make a right.
Thank you very much. Let me hear Mazi. He was the one who made that conversation about that statement about protest not being wise and not allowing your children protest. So what do you advise the children to do? Mazi.
They should cry now.
Like a country that your rights are not even respected. You can be arrested and put in detention for endless days and years. Why I say that is because this government does not allow a thought that will be against them. Short and simple. Secondly, they came in with protests, and they don't want people, Nigerians, to protest.
So what do we do, Mazi? What do we do? That's the question.
We'll cry now. We'll cry.
We must respect our laws that defines our limits. The Constitution is clear. Citizens have the right to protest, and the government has the right to protect them. Not when they come out to express their anger, express feelings over bad governance, you are now clap them.
Thank you.
You give them a dog, a pat them to hang it. So the issue is the government should do the right thing, do the needful. Let there be food. Do something that people will say you are trying, but not when you are living in abundance. The masses are suffering. You want them to keep quiet. It's not possible.
Thank you.